What is up, friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? We appreciate you being here and giving us just a little bit of your time. I actually unmuted myself for once, so I have had a good day. Oh Lord, we are of course the Harsh Truth, and I am of course not Frank, as it's obvious. He's still
no name,
no
name.
Ah, right.
Right. Yeah, we can't do that.
Mr. Mexico. I don't know. We'll get Frank. I already blew everybody's cover. It's fine. Oh god.
I smell a Fed. I smell the Fed. I knew it was you.
Yeah, we're not very good at this whole heist thing. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? We are again. We're the Harsh Truth. I am, of course, today Mr. Green, and joining me on this very terrible heist is apparently Mr. Maroon. How are you this evening, sir?
Well, you get out of line, I might have to use this here straight razor, do some confessions on you there, Hoss. So, I'd hate to get stuck in the middle here. You know what I'm saying? So let's just be cool, and everybody can go home safe. What's up, y'all? What's going?
Clowns to the left of you, clowns to the right. Yeah,
sure. It's all a circus over here these days. You deal with what you got, right?
All right. Well, let's see. Okay, at least first to the starting line is of course my mom. Good evening
What's up,
to her
BJ?
as well. No Casey, so it's been a good time. It's been a good 2 minutes already. So. All right. So if you haven't guessed already from our aliases and my attempt to kind of dress up, we are of course doing Reservoir Dogs as our little throwback Thursday. So let's get the reading here. Reservoir Dogs is a 1992, it's a good year, American crime film written and directed by Quentin Tarantino in his feature-length directorial debut. It stars Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi, Lawrence Tierney, Michael Madsen, Quentin Tarantino himself, and Edward Bunker as diamond thieves whose heist of a jewelry store goes terribly wrong. This film incorporates many of the motifs that have become Tarantino's hallmarks, including violent crime, pop culture references, profanity, ain't that the truth, and non-linear storytelling. Reservoir Dogs premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January of 1992, and it became the festival's most talked about film and was subsequently picked up for distribution. While the film barely broke even at the box office, making $2.9 million against a reported budget as much as $3 million, still not bad. Reservoir Dogs is regarded as an important and influential milestone of independent filmmaking. As we've said many times here, the 90s were good for independent filmmaking. Review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes gives the film an approval rating of 90% based on 81 reviews, which seems criminally low, and an average rating of 8.9 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads, quote, "Thrumming with intelligence and energy, Reservoir Dogs opens Quentin Tarantino's filmmaking career with hard-hitting style." And those are my pictures. Where is my stream? There we go. Yeah, I think that pretty much says it all in a nutshell. I'm going to keep this joke going. Mr. Maroon, what are your quick thoughts on this film? Do you enjoy this film? Is there anything about it you would change? I mean, it's an independent film from the 90s. It's kind of the jumping off point for Quentin Tarantino. So,
I'm a fan of this. I'm a Tarantino guy. I don't like everything that he did, but I mean, stuff like Death Proof, From Dusk Till Dawn. Pulp Fiction. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Pulp Fiction. I like the Tarantino style. Maybe some of I've always compared Quentin Tarantino dialogue as the better version of the Rob Zombie dialogue. They both use coarse, foul language, but Tarantino is better at eloquently putting it together, whereas Rob Zombie is just like, fuck you, here it is. And
he's got F-bombs.
Right, they both don't mind getting raw and real, which is one of the things I like about Tarantino dialogue. It feels like an actual conversation. It's not a polished Well, it doesn't feel like a polished Hollywood script that's been put through a team of lawyers to make sure it doesn't offend anybody. That's what's so fun about Tarantino and the 90s. I mean, yeah, this may have not have been a huge financial success when it first came out, but fuck, I mean, as you just alluded to, the independent scene in the 90s, this is right up there with Halloween and Blair Witch Project as one of the best independent films of all time. And this film literally created a subgenre within the crime world. And it's got Tarantino. Any crime movie post this, you can see influences from that man right there. Like he has given so much to film over the years. It's a lot of fun. It's got its flaws, it's got its problems, but overall, yeah, I'm a
fan. Yeah. God, I can't get my tab straight here. Damn. I guess you kind of hinted on it. That was the first point. Was, I mean, what do you think of Quentin Tarantino's work in this film and overall? I mean, yeah, we kind of talked about.
He's awesome. You know his style when you see him. Like you know a Tarantino. Like if you turn on TV in the middle of the day without seeing the channel guy, oh, that's Tarantino. By the feel, the sound, the look, he's got his style. And, it's superior to me. It's fair to say.
Yeah, I agree. I do like Tarantino's style. I like him as a filmmaker. I like kind of his attitude towards film because he says a lot of the same things that I agree with. Like, I think we talked about it at some point. I think Frank mentioned this, that he's like, I don't like movies that are in the era where like cell phones are a thing because that ruins a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I was like, and I agree.
Well, it's too easy.
It fixes every problems. Yeah. Because in this movie, I mean, I'll skip ahead a little bit because it is ridiculous, and I love this shot. Where is it? When you got nice guy Eddie here with this ridiculous brick phone from the early 90s. I was like, I mean, yes, there's that, but that's about it. I mean, like otherwise you're finding a payphone or something, a landline.
But even the reception on those things, you had to be standing in a clear sky with the perfect, no blockage, whatever. So it wasn't that easy.
So, and that's because that's what this story would lend itself more to, that because it's like that's where the confusion and the chaos comes from, where they're like, we don't know what happened to anybody. We don't know where anyone's at, if they're even alive or if they're captured by the cops. We don't know. Which lends us to the dialogue and the storytelling, and that's the thing I love about Tarantino is like there are people that like can do dialogue just like really well and stuff that you remember that you can quote. Like I can sit there and quote the whole scene from Pulp Fiction when him and Vincent and Jules are in the car bullshit and talking about quarter pounders with cheese.
Royale with cheese,
a Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
What's a quarter pounder? But a quarter pounder still, they don't know what a quarter pounder is. They got the metric system. You know what I mean? stupid shit that you remember. It's like just these long rants of shit. Like today, I just out of nowhere, because I watched clips of movies. I watched them talking about. Good.
No, I was gonna say this movie opens up with like a 10-minute dialogue scene talking about Madonna taking dick and fucking waitresses and tips.
Right here.
Like Jesus Christ! Like you sit there for 10 minutes and you love every second of it. It's like there's nothing happening here. There's an old man bitching about Toby or Tommy Chung or whatever they go off on. And then they have this philosophical debate about who tips and who doesn't, and what does a Madonna song mean? And it's awesome. You love every second of it. It's fascinating to watch. But,
it feels like genuine
dialogue.
Yeah, it feels like genuine just bullshitting that people would just be sitting around talking about. Like, and that's what makes it so fucking funny. Like,
well, and it's not even just that, but you've got a table full of like cold-blooded criminals here, and all of them but one are playing like the big-hearted nice guy. Oh, well, do you know how little these waitresses make? And they're like, they're trying to be like these nice guys, and Mr. Pink's like, fuck y'all, I'm not giving anybody. Go to hell.
Fuck her, I'm not giving her a tip.
Right? Yeah. I mean, and he's right. Whatever.
I wish I thought about it and didn't have enough time to, but I wish I would have, because as we know, all these movies are connected and a lot of the same actors are in the movies of Tarantino's. Right. And I was like, didn't he mention? He's like, oh yeah, I used to have a job like that once. And I was like, he doesn't tell stories
Well, no,
in order.
he gets that. He gets that in Pulp Fiction after this movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but he was the Steve Buscemi was the waiter in Pulp Fiction. I'm like, but then again, he doesn't tell a story in order. So did that maybe happen before? Because those movies are connected.
Maybe,
so
I don't know. It could be.
Before.
Well, and it's not just that, but Mr. Blonde, his last name is Vega. Is he related to John Travolta in Pulp Fiction? There's a lot of things here.
I was gonna mention that. Like that's one of the first things is one of your major connections to not only this universe that he's made, but just the first two movies he's done. It not only is like the classic, just the regular suit and tie with the white shirt.
I wonder if he's drinking a $5 shake or not.
Well, no, I do have something about that. I guess if we can talk a little bit about Pulp Fiction here, like obviously you got Vincent Vega playing John Travolta, and then Vic Vega, which is his brother in universe, played by Michael Madsen over there. So there's like an obvious connection there. While I've got that up, actually the cup, it's so funny. The cup that he's holding, I'm pretty sure that is a Big Kahuna Burger cup from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
That's the same damn cup. You can't tell me it's not.
God, I wish Sam Jackson would have been in this movie. Oh, that would have been so fun.
Yeah, that would have been really wild. I wonder if he would have played, man. That would have been fucking insane.
Hey, maybe he was Mr. Blue. We never see Mr. Blue. Was that Sam Jackson?
Right. Where's Eddie? I was like, who wore the fro better, Sam Jackson or Eddie? Chris Penn.
I don't know.
That's a hard one.
That's the best. It's not what's in the briefcase anymore. It's who had the better afro. That's the question going forward. My God, when it comes to Tarantino, that's about it.
Oh yeah. All right. So next is the cast. I mean, Jesus, man, you got Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi, Michael Madsen, Tarantino. Like I said, good Lord, this thing is. I don't even maybe know in this time if these guys are like big. Maybe like Harvey Keitel would probably be like your biggest star.
Well, Harvey Keitel originally, and I don't know if you have this in trivia or not, but I'll go ahead and say it before we do the character thing. Whenever Tarantino, he wrote this script for this film. Now, originally it was going to be a book, and then it was going to be a stage play. That's when it gets sent to Harvey Keitel. And then he gets a budget to actually make the movie because Harvey Keitel was already a name. And then it got pushed to the level that it did with the budget, the money, and the stars behind it to like open up in New York and everything else. But yeah, it was he was instrumental.
Yeah. My mom says I have to catch her up on some of these movies I haven't seen yet. I'm like, I know, because I keep talking about Pulp Fiction. No, I don't think she's seen it.
I couldn't believe you, when you said Rachel had never seen Reservoir Dogs. I was like, this is one of those movies everybody has seen. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, of course she's seen like Pulp Fiction and some of his other stuff.
Well, of course,
you got to go back to the beginning, get some of the, where it comes from, the nitty gritty movies that are.
Of course,
that are like the meat and potatoes. I keep losing the damn stream. Good Lord, how does he do this? Well, because I was gonna say like this, which is like our background. I'm like, there's the shot of everybody. I'm like, that's like one of the most iconic like things that you've seen. Like you've seen that.
You don't hear little green bag when you see that. I don't know what's going on. That is just one of those things.
That's one of the cool. Like that's one of the opening shots of the movie. Is that after the diner scene and it's like them walking around outside in that alley. It's running through the credits of everybody, and then I couldn't get one of the title card, but then it just pops up. It's them walking off, and it just says Reservoir Dogs. Just pretty simple. Like I said, I like the simplicity and kind of not like grittiness because, he's been in the.
Well, this is a '70s Grindhouse movie made in '92, is what this is.
Yeah. So I'm like, I love that feel, and I love the way it's like you said, like his style of how he shoots movies. It's got that like kind of gritty feel. And kind of low budget thing, but that's charm. Love that. So on the cast, I mean, who's the one that stands out to you the most? Because I know, like I said, out of all these fucking guys, they're all
dude,
which one's your favorite? Because
my personal favorite, I gotta go, Mr. Blonde, Michael Madsen. The dude, he's got Patrick Bateman level charm from American Psycho with this movie. Like, if you told me those two guys were either best friends or brothers, I would believe it. I mean, even down to the outfit. It's funny how that kind of happened. But just to see, like, I mean, he just shows up with a cop in the trunk of his car like it's just a Tuesday. You know, it's fine. You know,
Another day.
You know, just another day. And then, you know, he's, you know, oh, I'm going to torture you. You know, you can confess to me if you want. I don't care. You know, you can say whatever you want. They always do. And he pulls out his flicking switchblade, as you know they would refer to it in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he just starts slicing and dicing, and you know, homeboy loses an ear, and you know, then takes a can of gasoline out. You know, he threatens to, you know, light him up, and then you know he gets a magazine emptied into his chest for his troubles. But Michael Madsen, dude, he's so much fun in this movie. And I mean I think Steve Buscemi is the heart of this movie. Harvey Keitel's probably the best actor, but Michael Madsen for me, he's my dude. He's my favorite.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to comment. Yeah, and that's that right there is that's the OG of like that's a classic Tarantino thing of the point of view shot looking from inside the trunk, and they open it up, and there's always something in there, and I got the one reel after something that just makes you smile, you know, like that.
Oh, it's great. Awesome.
Which is
show.
For them, as a cop that's like,
well, you couldn't. They could have made that shot the poster and just put Reservoir Dogs on it, and not told you anything else, and that image would have sold. That's how. And it's just three guys. It's just an upshot of three guys smiling. Like there's no context, but it looks so cool. If I went to Spencer's and saw that poster, I would buy that poster and put it on the wall just because it looks
cool. Yeah, I don't know. For me, like, yeah, Harvey Keitel is probably one of the best ones. Probably my favorite. Like I said, yeah, Mr. Pink, played by Steve Buscemi, is kind of the one who's like makes the most sense. Like he's the one who's freaking the fuck out. Like, what happened? Like, who was this? Like, oh shit, this is getting bad because Mr. Orange took one right in the gut. You know, I don't know. Like I do, but I do like their like kind of weird, or not him and Mr. Orange, played by Tim Roth. They have this weird like
Tim Roth,
kinship. That like Mr. Orange is kind of he gets protected by Mr. White a little bit, but maybe to his detriment. But and yeah, Mr. Blonde is fun because he's obviously like the most unhinged, but like the calmest.
Oh yeah, he's just a psycho that he just wants to raise hell. Like that's literally all he's there to do. I mean, who brings a tied up police officer to the hideout? I mean that's next level stuff. You know?
Well, that's why I love that he gets one of the famous lines, and it's the line I used on my thing, and it's the right here where, I mean. Admittedly, yes, Harvey Keitel is kind of still pissed off, and he's like, I don't know what's going on. You just waltz in here like calm as a cucumber, and he's just like, you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or you gonna bite? I'm like, damn, he's poking at him and like just trying to twist a knife like a total asshole, but being so cool about it. Oh man. All right, what's the next point? Oh, the plot. Okay, so. Yeah, the plot is, I mean, you have these 6 guys who don't know each other. They all have code names, as we've alluded to, and that's I wonder if I can actually take us. I don't really have it, but the background you can tell. I thought that was pretty cool with all the different colors, the shaded in on that shot of everybody walking. It's pretty cool. They do a diamond heist, and it goes completely fucking sideways because cops show up about 2 seconds later. So that puts it in your head that, yeah, someone's a rat. One of these 6 guys, or it could be the boss man who set this up, or his son. Like, there's other people outside of this group of criminals that it could be. And it's them trying to figure out who exactly was the one who brought that heat down on them. So, and yeah, a lot of paranoia, a lot of distrust, and we go for quite a fucking ride here. So what do you think of the plot? Does that work? I mean, that's a pretty simple idea, and I like that it's all shot in like 90% it's one location. Like you do a lot with just one location.
Oh,
it's the dialogue that carries it. So
And I think that's why the Tarantino style of nonlinear storytelling works best in this movie, because
Another
most of
iconic
this
shot
movie
right
takes
there.
place in that warehouse. Which, by the way, terrible
Right.
hideout. That's like right in the middle of town where there's all these suited guys going. Somebody's going to notice that, but whatever. I'll let that go.
Yeah.
I like the plot. It's a fun one, but in the beginning of the film, or not in the beginning, but whenever the old man says this is a 5-man job, he's looking at 6 guys, not counting Mr. Blue. That's 7. I've always wondered, was that just a flub up on the actor? Did Tarantino writing this just write the wrong number? Like, at what point did this get off balance here? Because he says this is a 5-man job, but you've got 7 active. Now, of course, we never see Mr. Blue, but it's it's always kind of funny. Like, or was he saying this is a 5-man job because he knew they were rats? This is where it goes into the theories and within the Tarantino world of, there's 1,000 different YouTube videos of trying to figure this out, and the truth is none of us know the answer. But yeah, plot wise, this is, it's a heist movie where you never see the heist. It's the other side of it. It's, oh, this went bad. Now we got to figure it out. And we got to try not to kill each other with the crazy dude over here doing his, Leatherface dance at the end of the movie, cutting old boy up, making him look like, chop suey or whatever. But yeah, the plot works. It's the best thing about this plot is the inner dialogue between the big stuff. To me, that's the most interesting part about this film. Like, just take the torture scene alone. We don't get to see the ear cut off because Tarantino didn't have the budget to do that. So he had to get creative.
Right there, you see that. Yeah, and he cuts away.
Right, and then the camera pans up and to the left. And then now the funniest scene in this movie, which is saying something with whenever Mr. Blonde stands up and he's like talking in his ear. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, right
he's like,
hello? That right there. This thing on? I'm like, dude,
this thing on? Can you hear me? Oh, it's the little touches like that I love how he like stands up and then wipes his blood back on him because he doesn't want to get his white shirt there. It's like the small little detail in the fact. Right. It works. It's a very deep plot this is one of those dialogue heavy films where you can watch it 100 times and you pick up something different every time. And it's a smartly written film. And the plot works. It's got flaws and I've got questions, but you don't think about those at the time while you're watching it. That comes later. What's cool about it?
Oh yeah. I love it. Because when you open, not open with you open with the diner scene, them talking about like a virgin with Madonna, and then the
Dick.
I was like, Quentin Tarantino, everybody, and his writing style. It's that.
If it's not, he's not talking about Dick. Oh, it's great.
Jesus Christ. But another classic, because if you've seen Pulp Fiction, there's another classic kind of thing that it opens up with. Not only does it go from that, you get your title card, and then the screen's still it's still black, and then you're just hearing somebody screaming in pain, and you open with this. Just right, it's like I said, this is the Tarantino where shit goes sideways so fast. You're just like, oh my god, wait, whoa. Why are you bleeding? Why are you screaming in the back of the car? Blood's coming out of your stomach. Like, what the shit?
Right.
It throws you right into the action. And if you've seen Pulp Fiction, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're talking about instead of John Travolta shooting Marvin right through the head, you got Tim Roth there fucking writhing in pain. And I couldn't get one of Harvey Keitel. He's the one driving the car and hold on to this poor kid's hand where he's like, come on. I love that line. Come on, say the words. I'm not going to die. I'm not dying. Like trying to keep, he's fucking shitting his pants too. Like trying to not let this kid die on him.
Well, and that makes it feel more real, like with the way that they portray those lines. Like it's not super over the top. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it feels like if you and I were doing a heist and somebody got shot. Like that's how we were. Oh shit, this is it feels real. I like
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you get shot in the stomach, man. That's
Oh
nowhere is a
yeah.
good place to get
Oh,
shot. But I mean, God, he took one right in the like lower gut, and that's got to suck. And I mean, I think somewhere I might have a picture of well, it was from the end, but like uh when they get to the warehouse, and he's Harvey Keitel's trying to like keep him calm and not like have him die on him because he's I think Tim Roth spends about 80% of this movie just in a pool of his own fucking blood, like on that little ramp there, and it's
oh yeah. Oh yeah. He definitely had the
God.
jigsaw from Saw One role in this movie. Like, just go lay in
Yeah.
that blood for a week. Do your thing.
And like he tells him, he's like, "Look, kid, other than the kneecaps, like the stomach is the worst place to get shot." He's like, "But you're not gonna die right away. It's gonna be a slow fucking death, and it's gonna suck." I'm like, "Yeah, but your clock is still ticking." So now you have this problem of where is everybody? Who is or isn't dead or captured by a cop? Who's even going to show up here? Because this is where we're supposed to meet. And I've got this kid's life in my hands here, where he's going to suffer a really slow death, and it's like you can't take him to a hospital. They're criminals. You can't just. That means cops, and then it's game over, man. Even if you don't know each other's names. Although, to be fair, he slipped up. Mr. White, played by Harvey Keitel, tells him his name's Larry, and he tells him where he's from, which that was stupid. I don't know.
And that sets off Mr. Pink, going back to him being the most professional out of all these people, because he's like, calling him out on the bush, like, look, this isn't supposed to fucking be this way. Blah, 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 blah.
Probably fucking professionals, man.
Right. Yeah.
That's my Steve Buscemi. That's the best I can do. Yeah, but Mr. Pink is the one who shows up next, and realizes, oh shit, blonde, Jesus, Mr. Orange took one in the stomach, and he's like, oh shit. So this is one of those first like dialogue heavy scenes of them trying to piece together, like, okay, so what's going on? Who did it? I think Mr. Pink is kind of the one who, maybe Harvey Keitel doesn't really say it, but like Mr. Pink there is trying to figure out, like, either we got to get out of here, because that also means this place could be compromised. Like, he's running through the steps of like, we got to be 3 steps ahead thinking about this. Like, do we want to stay here? And what do we do with Mr. Orange, who's shot in the gut? You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no one there of him. Just, I love that. Cassidy pulls out his gun. He's like, I mean, I get it. Everyone panics. Like,
well, for Christ's sake, they couldn't even keep the door closed on their hideout. The shit just flies open all the fucking time. Like,
I wondered if that was like an accident. No, it was over to shut the door.
Yeah, no, that was not like done on purpose. The door on the building in that warehouse where they were shooting at, I guess the building had warped over time or whatever, and it just wouldn't stay closed. That's why towards the end of the film, you see, I think it's Mr. White walks over and closes it during the scene, and they just rolled with it. Like, yeah, it was just one of those things that happened, and they left it in the film. It's just, movie magic.
It feels pretty real. Fucking hell. I thought I had a picture of Mr. Pink, like he's because we get a little background of like so one of the important parts here is where's the loot? What happened to the diamonds? Mr. Pink here is the one who says, and he's like, no, I actually grabbed it and hauled ass out of there. And I think he carjacked some woman, and that's how he got there in the first place. And he basically shot his way out of the crowd. The cool thing about this movie is you never really see it, and that's the thing is I love that it's always like you can have you have big set pieces of heist movies. You see the heist, like some Ocean's 11 type shit, but I'm like, this is like the aftermath, and something went wrong. It's like you don't have to see it. You don't know that what happened, and again, you hear it through dialogue. They're like, oh my god, Mr. Blonde is a fucking psychopath. All he did was just bang, 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 just killed everybody. And I love his cool, like, he's just like, well, they fucking did something I told them not to do. And if they didn't do that, they'd still be alive. I'm like, dude, Jesus Christ.
Right.
Fucking, that's crazy.
And that's
logic, but I mean, he's right.
That's one of the things about this within the cast is, yeah, they're all bad guys, but it's like a different, you need a dude that's willing to take charge on the front line. Then you've got like Mr. White, who's more of the thinker. You've got different kinds of criminals. So it's kind of like in like an Ocean's movie where everybody has a role. It's more defined in that in those movies, whereas this, they tell you who they are by their actions, not by just telling you. So it's you pay attention to the small details, and you pick up on that kind of stuff.
Glad you said that, because so now we have Mr. Blonde. He comes in next, and of course he's I do love that shot. Like he takes him outside and he's like, "Hey guys." I do love this subtle. I love the subtle look here of like, because Harvey Keitel's got Mr. White in the middle's got Mr. Orange's blood on him. I love that he actually closes his suit jacket to go outside because he's the one covered in blood, and that would kind of give it away. While Mr. Blonde and Mr. Pink have been pretty unscathed, which is a cool detail. But yeah, they do the classic. There's the POV shot, Tarantino opening the trunk. And yeah, then they have the cop inside, which is a nice plot twist that so now we think, okay, well, we have somebody here as a hostage and someone who might know what's going on, even though this poor guy loses his ear to you'll never hear you'll never hear Stuck in the Middle with You the same way.
Oh yeah, you can't forget it. Yeah, it's and the little I love the dance. Like it's like this scene.
Picture,
This scene and I keep going back to American Psycho, Patrick Bateman, but his morning workout routine, like those two scenes are very parallel with. It's like childish evil. It's like they're doing, he's just dancing around with his flicking switchblade, and he's about to fuck this dude up, but he's just like, oh, I'm gonna play with it. Oh, I'm gonna do a little spin with the gas can. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Yeah, you get your ear cut off by this psychopath right here, and the next thing he does is douse you with some gasoline. Like, that has got to fucking burn. Oh my god! Like, no pun intended, but damn, dude, that's brutal.
I will say, the one criticism I do have about this scene, whenever Mr. Blonde is pointing the gun at the cop, the acting of the cop to like, oh, he's gonna jerk his head down to the side. Now he's jerk it up to the other side. Every time Michael Madsen moves, get him to do this, does that, does that. It's like, dude, you're down with some pride. Like, horrible acting.
I mean, he does say, like, I've only been on the force for like 8 months, and I'm like, damn, I mean,
right.
If this guy is willing to go that far, and like, damn well he's not just gonna shoot you. He's not. That's too.
Oh, well, he told him. He said, pray for a quick death, but it's not coming. I mean, he straight up told me. Yeah, you're not getting.
I mean, I get you're trying to like get away from the. I mean, yeah, I'd be freaking out in that seat, man.
Right.
Oh, Lord Jesus. So for a little bit of context, while Mr. Blonde here is whispering sweet nothings in this guy's ear, literally in his hand. I had to. I'm sorry. Mr. Pink and
we need
Mr. White
a drum roll button for the podcast for those moments.
I wish I had like a little like. Wish I had that. So what we do so now that this has kind of reached the ears of nice guy Eddie, who is the son of Joe Cabot, who is the big boss guy. So we got Joe Cabot here, the boss man who set up the job in the first place.
Yeah. And
as I said earlier, you have his son Eddie, who I swear to God, if I had no concept of time, I thought that was Jonah Hill. Like straight up.
I could say he could be his father. I'd buy it. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this was 1992. There's no way. I'm like, yeah, but it's Chris Penn, who's Sean Penn's brother. Which unfortunately, it's kind of sad. I kind of forgot. Chris Penn here died at like the age of 40 in 2006. It's really it's way too young. It sucks, man.
We need to bring back the matching tracks, that they used to have back in the day. I always like that. That needs to make a comeback. I could dig that.
I do have it. Well, he has like jeans on, but I do love his outfit. I was gonna say, Eddie gets there now. Now Eddie's like, he's on the phone with somebody else, and he's like, now all I know is Dad's pissed. He doesn't know what's going on any more than these guys do. So they go and they try to move the parking lot of cars they have in front of this building because, like you said, it's like that's obvious as hell why there's like 4 or 5 cars parked here that you guys all came in on. So they try to stash him and get out of there. And Mr. Blonde has his little fun time dancing to the 70s. And
K-Mill's super sounds of the
70s. Exactly. So and then Eddie eventually, I think it was right before this, actually. I think I went out of order, but hey, it's Tarantino. Mr. Blonde, I can't fucking keep shit straight. Mr. Blonde's doing his thing here, and then as he's about to light this cop on fire, all of a sudden he takes a couple bullets to the chest, and you're thinking, whoa, holy shit. Mr. Orange sat straight up and shot this guy dead. And I love that he got this with that little evil smirk on his face, because you're like, what? Whoa, whoa, whoa. This whole damn time, here's the plot twist. Mr. Orange was in fact the rat, who was the police informant. So now your problem is now you just have Mr. Orange and the cop left in this room after he just gunned down Mr. Blonde. So that's, yeah, it's like, oh, what the fuck? And then you go back and you see his whole Mr. Orange's whole journey of like, okay, you got to act. You got to read this ridiculous story about how you went to the bathroom and there was like 5 cops and a German Shepherd in there, and all you were doing was going there to take a piss with a bag of like 4 bricks of weed or something in it, and just keep your cool. He's like, you got to sell this story to these guys, and you got to get in with them, you know, and we're gonna take them down. I think what they were waiting for was Joe Cabot, because it's kind of like, why are there no cops here? And to be fair, Mr. Pink was right. Like, these cops could be right around the corner. You have no idea what they're waiting for. And to be fair, he did actually get shot. That wasn't like fake. We do go back and see it. Now, he does actually take a bullet in the gut, which kind of sucks. But you find out, yeah, he's the one who set this whole thing against these guys. We get a couple. I wish I had that really badass shot of him, but this works for me. If that isn't also one of the most badass goddamn shots of this movie too, with Harvey Keitel just whipping out 2 guns, shooting them cops.
There are so many visuals within this movie. Like, I love I mean, I've said it on here before, but I love that 70s era look of film. And it's the grindhouse. I mean, you talked about it, you know, in the beginning. This film oozes with it. It is gorgeous to look at. It, you know, the visuals, the color palette, like everything. Like, I want to go back in time. Like, I don't need all this technology. Send me back to when this was cool. Like, much better, you know, to live back there. But, you know, we're not that lucky.
It was a better time to be making movies, I'll tell you what. Yeah, so you get like I said, you get pieces of kind of the flashback of like what happened on the job, but you never see the job itself. Like I said, you see the aftermath of what happened, and Mr. White here, and it's really hard to not say it like Jesse Pinkman. I'm like, yo, Mr. White. I just really want to say it like that.
Science,
yeah, bitch. Yeah, science, bitch. Anyway, Mr. White, and then you got Mr. Orange in the background there. I could not for the life of me find a damn picture of it, but you do actually find out what happens to Mr. Brown, played by Quentin Tarantino. He's actually in that car right there, and he kind of, you know, somehow smashed that car into another one, and he got stuck there. And
yeah,
it's never really explicitly said, because what happens next is, you know, Mr. White there turns around, sees a bunch of cops, and starts laying lead into him. Mr. Orange is kind of standing there like he is in the back of this picture, just kind of looking at Mr. Brown, and Mr. Brown's freaking out, like, oh my god, dude, I'm blind. He's like, no, you just got blood in your eyes, man. Like, just lean back, don't worry about it. And I was like, because then all of a sudden he comes back, Mr. White comes back, and Tarantino's got his neck back, and he's got a bullet hole in it, or like blood in his head and his forehead. And I'm like, did he kill him? Like, in the gunshots, I'm like, it's one of those theories where I'm like, did he just like pop him right there? Because we know at this point, we know he's the police informant. I mean, that's an opportunity right there where you're like, Mr. White is the only other person there, and he's occupied. He probably just put a bullet right in Mr. Brown's head and just said, then he got shot by a cop. That's what they say. I'm like, no, he didn't, because the cops were behind them. Sorry, you adding up there, buddy.
That's like one of the things I always wondered was the plan in this movie kind of like how Joker did in the beginning of The Dark Knight, where like it's like a 5-man crew, right? But once a guy opened the safe, right in the head, take him down, and then, you know, the actual guy who was planning the whole thing, by the end of it, this isn't a 5-way split anymore. You know, this is a one guy taking the whole piece, you know, whatever. But, you know, it's just, one of the great things about this movie is it leaves, there's space open for your own theories within it. And you can justify so many things and play with it. Like I said, just go look at the thousands of YouTube videos of people theorizing it. Is this, that, and the other thing, whatever. That's what helps create aura for a film. Whereas, like I said, this movie may have not made a bunch of money in '92, but it's more than made up for it since. For merchandising and releases and everybody talking about it. it's it's made the years.
Because I think Tarantino definitely got his footing, got his style down. Because the next thing was Pulp Fiction. I mean, goddamn, that's a great movie.
That was
so
2 years later. Yeah, I believe it was
94.
2 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was 2 years later. Yeah.
So you start looking at his whole thing. You're like, oh damn, this guy's pretty good. This guy makes some crazy shit. So you start looking at it and you realize, oh, this was actually maybe unfairly judged at first, and you're like, no, this is a good movie right here. So I forgot that I got this out of order, but Tarantino would be proud. It's out of order. So of course out of order. So after the movie, I understood that reference. So anyway, after this this whole shootout here, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Orange tapped Mr. Brown right to the skull there. The two of them had to hightail it down the street, and you got to get a different getaway car. So they stopped this poor lady right here in the middle of the street. And I'm glad I got these in succession. They stop her, but I mean, this is like freaking LA or something like that. She pulls a gun
somewhere
out of that
in Southern California.
Somewhere in Southern California. She pulls out a gun out of that fucking thing right there, and these two guys approach her. And I don't have a shot of it, but man, she was ready.
she was too ate up and ready to roll out. She wouldn't play it. So God bless.
Because it's like you wonder what happens. Of all things, this lady taps Mr. Orange right in the gut. He falls down and immediately just boom puts one right into her. And I love this. It hesitates on that for a second, where he's just kind of like, oh shit, like, and also like, really, this is how I'm gonna. When we circle back around like to this, like, God damn it, now I'm gonna sit here and bleed out because of that. And
right.
Knowing what we know now, knowing he's the one who's the inside guy, like,
well,
shit,
and
what a turn of events for you there, buddy. The turntables.
The non-linear timeline only works if you're a good filmmaker, if you're a smart script writer. How many people have copied that template and that formula of the non-linear storytelling, and it's just so the movie's not good enough to justify that. Like, not everybody can get away with it, and that's a real flex for Tarantino to start for his first big film, to take such a big swing, to be able to go 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 12 back and forth, but you understand it, whether it's this one, whether it's Pulp Fiction. It works because he's smart and he knows what he's talking about. That's why there's a lot of famous people that I don't trust their opinions on film, but people like Tarantino, Eli Roth, some of the people that talk about this stuff and break it down that are within the business, I trust them because they're smart filmmakers. They know what they're talking about.
And speaking of that is another perfect segue into this. So when I showed this to Rachel, I mentioned it first. I'm like, there's going to be two things, actually, right in the beginning, that's going to give it away. Now, I don't know if you catch it because it's so subtle. I bet
I can pick out one of them, but go ahead.
I think you might know. So, firstly, in the diner scene, they're all talking about the courtesy of
tip
tipping.
Scene. Yeah.
So when Ed comes, not Eddie, fucking Joe, the boss comes back, he pays the bill. Yeah. He tells all of them, "Hey, I'm gonna go pay the bill."
Who didn't throw in?
Yeah. He asks who didn't throw in because he counts all the money. The first little fucking weasel who speaks up and throws Mr. Pink under the bus is Mr. Orange. And he keeps going. He's like, "What do you mean he didn't tip?" He's like, "Well, he doesn't believe in it." And he's like, "All right, shut up, kid. Why don't you tip?" He just reels into him. I was like, yeah, that's messed up. He's the first one who says that. So that's your first giveaway. And I went back and I showed, I lost the damn picture now. God damn it. There's a second clue after Mr. Pink shows up to the warehouse. And I'm glad I got such a clear shot of it. These two guys are just, again, they're still talking about coming down from this whole heist and what's going on. And you're watching these two guys deliver all this dialogue. If you look back on the shelf back there, there's these jugs of different colors. There's a couple of ones of pink and a white on one side. And what's separated all the way to the right? A bunch of jugs of orange.
Yep.
So it's already telling you in the first 5-10 minutes of this movie, that's your clue. It's those little jugs on the back shelf there that are the different colors.
It's
Mr. Orange is the one who's out of place. Yeah.
I love the
so
minor
that
details in the background. It's fun like that.
And like you said, like you know what you're doing, and you have those little hints along the way.
Oh yeah. Well, it's that's one of the things that makes film or television fun is you're forecasting something to come in the future. You may not recognize it while it's happening, but going back, oh shit, look at this, look at that. Like, there's always, it's fun to go back and look at these things. Now, all of these old films have been picked to death, and there's YouTube videos for days talking about 10 things you didn't know about, fill in the blank. Hell, that's how YouTube got started. But it's fun to live through those things, to find them yourself.
I just love this shot too. Another thing from Pulp Fiction. I'm like, you guys just like, that's very much like the Vincent and Jules talking about Royales with cheese in France, like dicking around, like get that little shot in the car.
This movie opens up with Tim Roth tipping at a diner, and Pulp Fiction opens up with him robbing a diner. Like, there's so many parallels, you know what I mean?
Even that diner where he meets his friend to talk about how he's going to get in with his gang. It's like, that diner looks very close to that same diner.
I'm saying,
in the next movie.
You can't not like this movie. There's so many people that, Pulp Fiction's better than Reservoir Dogs, or, back and forth, whatever your opinion may be. They're companion pieces to one another. You can't, you can't watch one without watching the other. Like, they, whether they're connected or they're not, that's up for debate. I personally happen to believe that they are, but they're both excellent made films with smart, real, crude, rough dialogue, how people of this world would talk, and they work.
Oh yeah. All right, so now we're getting down to the wire here. Like I said, Eddie, nice guy Eddie has shown up now, and he just lays the cop out, which was dumb. Anyway, there's the tracksuit and the bell-bottom jeans. I mean, this dude is just rocking a whole 70s style.
So we need to bring back the tracksuit. If it wasn't 95 freaking degrees, I might. But there's always the fall out there, so it's all good.
Right. So kind of a hasty fucking decision there. Nice guy Eddie just lays that fucking cop out right there, and I mean, I think Mr. White says like, yeah, well, you know what? He would have. If you hadn't fucking killed him, we'd have somebody who could have helped us out here. I mean, they're kind of what your bargaining chip, dude. But like, what the hell?
Well, not to mention the gunshots within that warehouse right in the middle of town. Like, how is nobody hearing this? Mr.
I know
Orange.
It's LA, but damn.
Right. I mean, Mr. Orange emptied the gun on Blonde, and then you have these guns. Like, I know this is LA. Yeah. I've never been there, but I would imagine that's not in a good part of town, and gunfire is probably a regular thing. But that much gunfire, somebody's going to notice something. So, yeah.
I mean, just like Pulp Fiction when they're freaking out about having Marvin's head splattered all over the back window of their car. He's like, well, he's like, you think people will notice a car with blood all over the damn fucking window?
Well, what does Wolf say in that scene? Let's not start blowing each other yet, boys, or some shit like that.
Yeah, we're not out of this yet.
We're not out.
Harvey Keitel's good in that movie too. Oh my god.
Oh, Harvey Keitel's great. Everything the man's ever done.
Oh yeah,
he's great.
So now we got a problem here. Now we've got Mr. White left, nice guy Eddie, and where did Mr. Joe go? I lost him. There he is. And now we got Big Boss Man Joe all left in this excuse me, in this warehouse. Now he's shown up. And Tim Roth even tries to say to Eddie that, like, he tries to lay it on Mr. Blonde, like, oh yeah, he was gonna kill this cop, and he was talking about how he did, but he fucking knows better. He's like, you're telling me this guy who never took a deal in his fucking life, no matter how much tempting shit they never in front of him.
Yeah.
This guy who did time for us in prison, and we got him out, like he got out, and we're repaying him back. You're telling me this guy took a deal with these cops? Like, you see, now he's starting to distrust them as well. And he's like, how about you actually tell me what really happened? And Joe here is pretty, it's really, it's like, it is kind of
fucking gun at my dad.
Right.
Yeah.
It is kind of Joe's fault because he does say like I didn't trust my gut 100%, and that's on me. I shouldn't have moved forward if I didn't trust my gut. And I'm like, yeah, well now it's gonna bite you in the ass because I wish I had the picture of the standoff. You got Joe, Eddie, and Mr. White all pointing guns at each other. And he's even, like I said, even in this moment right here, I love that where he's like, "God damn you, Joe, don't make me do this," because him and Joe are buddies. Like they go back a long way.
He's trying to tell like this kid, Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry out there.
Some Magnum 4s like make my
day,
punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's all kinds of badass shots in this film. I'm glad I got all these. So yeah, like you said, I love that. Like it's probably that right after that where he screams and like, "Stop pointing that fucking gun at my dad!"
Yeah,
and then they all get laid out. Like Eddie dies, Joe gets taken out, and I got that shot again. Harvey Keitel doesn't quite die right away, and again, Mr. Orange is still kind of on his way out. Actually, Mr. Pink was still there. I forgot. Mr. Pink was on
Mr. Pink he's hiding with the diamonds, and then shortly after this, he fucking hauls ass out of it.
I was like, after this like messy like ending scene of everybody getting shot, Mr. Pink, like you said, takes off. Then you hear visual cues in the background. You hear like the door open. Then you hear those cops finally coming in. You hear gunshots. I'm like, I don't know if he made it. Did he get shot? Like
that's one of the. That's depending on what you want to be canon. Is this in Pulp Fiction? Similar. Or not similar, but connected, and depending on which headcanon you go with, he either gets shot or he gets away. I personally like the theory that he got away because he was the only smart criminal here, or the only professional.
I'm the only one nothing like a fucking professional.
Right? Yeah. I mean, he even flat out says it. So I personally go with the headcanon of Mr. Pink got away, but that's for you to decide.
He did get away the first time, yeah.
Right.
He was pretty smart about it, and then. Yeah, so now we got everybody else is dead, and then Mr. Pink runs out, and whatever happened. Now you got these two guys, and this scene right here, it sucks because he does start to tell him, "I'm sorry, man. I'm a cop. Like I'm so fucking sorry. I'm a cop." And Harvey Keitel breaks down, and I'm like, "Yeah, that sucks." In that moment when you were seriously defending this kid to the end of your life, that he didn't do it, only to find out, man, you just got plugged because of this kid. Still, like, damn. And again, I love this shot. If you don't see it, you just see like Mr. White lifts his head up and you hear the cops coming in. They're like, he puts a gun to Mr. Orange's head, which I mean, fair. This kid did get you killed. And you just hear him screaming at Mr. White, put the gun down, get away from him, get down. And then you see him just kind of fall over and you hear a bunch of gunshots. And then there you go, cut the black, roll the credits. And it's like,
yeah, I mean,
damn.
This film ends in a 3-way Mexican standoff. I mean, it's one guy runs out, and then the cops come in. It's a bloody end to a failed heist, and that's the point of this. It's
that's some
you're not necessarily supposed to like any of these bad guys because they're the bad guys, but you can't help it. And it's showing the dark side of when things go wrong, and it's smartly written. It's got a ending that is left. It's open enough for your interpretation on minor things, which, like I said, keeps it fun, and it works. Is this the connection? Even though we see like Harvey Keitel and Quentin Tarantino and Pulp Fiction 2 years later playing different roles, we don't know.
Because I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's still in the crime family. Was Winston Wolfe a fake name that he went by, and he does crime cleanup, and on the side he's like, I'm going to pull this diamond heist.
Quentin Tarantino came back to life to serve people coffee in his underwear and talk about a new bedroom suit. Who knows? I don't know. But
I actually quoted that today when I got some coffee. I'm like, I buy the expensive gourmet shit because I want to fucking taste it.
He plays such a dickhead, and that seems like a coffee like. He's so like it's fun how he does that. But yeah, this is fun.
Agrees. The men look good in the tracksuits. I mean, like I said, he pulls.
There you go. It was what I had them whenever I was a kid. That was that was the '90s. That was a popular thing. You know what I mean? It was there. But
Hey, people are just handing me these segues. Hey, we got TSS in here. What's going on?
what's
What's up, guys? It's been a while. This is my top 3 favorite Tarantino films. That is the next thing. Is where does this one rank on your list of Tarantino films? Because that's a hard one for me. I don't know.
Ooh. Well, number 1 is easy, From Dusk Till Dawn, without question. I love that.
Is that Robert Rodriguez or is that Quentin Tarantino? I guess he did write it.
Technically, they work together so much. I kind of give them both credit for it. I mean, I don't know. I'd go, let's see, just to make this easy, I won't go 1, 2, 3. I'll just give you my top 3. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Fair.
I got to go Death Proof, even though that's probably not on most people's top 3. But Kurt Russell's so good in Death Proof. That is, I love that movie. And I probably Pulp Fiction. Just, that's fair. It's an amazing film.
God, for me, if I try to keep it within Tarantino movies, goddamn, I like this movie a lot, but I've always, and I'm not saying that it's better, but I've always loved Pulp Fiction a little more because I mean, it's like it's
Pulp Fiction's the more polished version of this.
Like I said, this is the idea, and this is like okay, he made it work with that movie, and that movie really.
This is the concept of what Pulp Fiction became. What this is.
Yeah, this is like your concept art making a movie, and then this is your actual film. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would say Pulp Fiction. This one could maybe be tied with it, or maybe like a close second. I do.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would be up there for me too.
I'd say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Hateful Eight was okay. I don't know.
That was pretty good.
Again, Kurt Russell was awesome in that movie. John the Hangman.
Kurt Russell could read the phone book and I'd listen to it for an hour and a half.
Right.
I mean, it's Kurt Russell, dude. Yeah. Snake Plissken. How do you go wrong with that? Come on now.
Right. But I would say in terms of like westerns, honestly, I like Django Unchained. That was a fucking wild movie.
That was good.
You think a western, but I'm like that ending scene where I'm like, yeah, it's just bodies exploding with blood. That even though that's not how they work. It's not how human bodies react. But I'm like, I don't care. This is the big Tarantino shit is just going off the rails in a big massive gunfight in this plantation house. I'm like, god damn.
Sam Jackson in that movie's great, dude.
Oh yeah, I was like Sam Jackson, opposite like Jamie Foxx. I mean, shit, it's a good movie.
Just the memes of Leonardo DiCaprio from Django Unchained.
Oh yeah,
are worth watching that movie for.
And how many times have I said that? I'm like, all right, you have my curiosity. Yeah, now you have my attention.
Now you have my attention. Yeah. Right. The memes are great. Yeah,
and it's a great. I mean, that's one of those things where it's almost like the when people every time you watch Lord of the Rings, you're like, did you know Viggo Mortensen actually broke his toe when he kicked that fucking helmet? Because that's a real metal helmet. You just had the urge to tell somebody. I'm like, but it's so cool that in Django Unchained, I'm like, no, DiCaprio cut his goddamn hand open really bad in that scene where he slammed the table and he cut his hand open on that glass and he just went for that fucking with his hand bleeding. I was like, Jesus Christ. And he still didn't get the damn Oscar for that. He had to get attacked by a fucking CGI bear again. But semantics, whatever.
It's not in my top 3, but the Kill Bill movies are badass just for the violence alone. Those are fun to watch too.
No, that's Tarantino. I was trying to remember what came after Pulp Fiction. That was a Kill Bill, wasn't it? It was like late 90s, right?
Jackie Brown came after Pulp Fiction. Was that 97 that Jackie Brown came out or not? I think it was 97.
I thought it was like 96.
Pretty sure. Let's see. I don't know, but I know Jackie Brown was after.
No, you're right. 97. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was after, but yeah. I hadn't watched Jackie Brown in years.
I kind of forgot about that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put like Pulp Fiction, this movie, Reservoir Dogs. I mean, it's the start of this whole madness. I love it. And I would say like Django.
Inglourious Basterds. That's another good one.
Fucker, I forgot about Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah,
let's switch to a top 5. Like Inglourious Basterds is definitely in there. That came out when I was in high school. I remember. Oh my god,
he's only done 9, so it's he hasn't quite got to that 10th movie yet. Right. He's.
That,
I mean,
that is a big thing of contention where it's like, are you going to make a 10th film?
yeah.
Or like that's kind of a nice cap, and I don't know if he wants to do it, but I feel like, man, if you like, that's what I'm saying. If you don't have to make like hundreds of movies in your life. It's like he's made 9, but they're good. I'm like, if you make something good.
What's cool is they're making Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2, but it's not going to be directed by Tarantino. He passed it off to, I forget who they said was directing, but Brad Pitt, Leo, all of them are coming back for Once Upon a Time 2. So, we'll see what happens with that. But for Tarantino's official 10th movie, he was working on a movie called The Critic, or The Critic. It was about a movie critic, but that got canceled or shelved. I don't know why. So
That's
I don't know what his
maybe because he is very opinionated, and again, I know he is kind of an asshole and he's a certain way, but I'm like, but there's a lot of things about Hollywood and the way movies are made and the way he does stuff that I'm like, I agree with you though. Like he's of that same mindset too, where he's like, there's only certain movies. Like when we're talking about, we talked about this in our DMs, like about what movies are actually canon, like what even really matters, like what's the good,
right?
There's he's like there's just too much. He's like, why don't you just make good movies? I'm like, I agree with you. Like, I don't know why it's so oversaturated.
Well, and not just that, but Tarantino himself loves the art form that is film. I mean, he owns movie theaters down here in Austin, Texas. He owns some in California. He's probably got them all over the country. And like he shows old prints of movies and stuff. Like he's been quoted. He's been quoted saying multiple times he'd never make a movie up, past the point of once the cell phone has been made. He likes that era of actual going to the. Well, I guess there's always one exception to the rule, but it is what.
I mean, I don't know if I trust that that cell phone to really give me a good clear call, but
I'm not sure I would want Tarantino making like a modern day film where his sense of filmmaking is from an older era. Like he wouldn't fit with making a movie set in 2025 or 2026. Yeah. To me, that would be weird. You know what
I mean? Okay, now that we've beaten this Reservoir Dog to death, we do some do some trivia, which of course Frank didn't give me anything.
Question: what do you think a Reservoir Dog is? We don't see no reservoir here.
I have no goddamn idea. I always wondered why the hell it was called that.
I don't either.
I know what that means.
I didn't know if you knew. Like I was just curious.
Maybe it's in the. I have no idea. It might be in the trivia somewhere. I have to dig through all this crap. I mean, like Pulp Fiction makes sense. It's about the.
Right. It comes from the old pulp era of magazines and that style of storytelling. It's pulp and it's fiction. That makes sense. Yeah.
And I mean, Pulp Fiction opens up with the actual like definition of what it is. I'm like, oh yeah,
right.
If you would have opened up with a damn dictionary, a dictionary explanation as to why it was called Reservoir Dogs, damn it, I would have appreciated that. God,
we can do 10 minutes on what's Reservoir Dogs like he did 10 minutes on Madonna's song. It's kind of a relevant, or a equivalency thing
there. Dick. Where's fucking Eddie? There we go. Okay, all right. I gotta get to this damn trivia. So the film's budget was so low that many of the actors were asked to simply bring their own clothing as wardrobe. Most notably, Chris Penn's track jacket, as we've been talking about.
Great jacket.
That's pretty cool. The signature black suits were provided for free by the designer based on her love for the American film, crime film genre. Like I said, you can see it.
Well, it's a classic look. The black suit, white shirt. I mean, it's a classic look.
Steve Buscemi wore his own black jeans instead of suit pants. I noticed that he had jeans on. And Michael Madsen wore a jacket with pants that came from 2 different suits. I also noticed he was the one that actually had cowboy boots on for shoes.
Yeah, he had the black bullhide boots. Very good looking cowboy boots. I don't know.
It weirdly works. I mean, and as you know, with Texas Chainsaw, some cowboy boots do go good with a suit and a nice mask.
Yeah. So. Hey, the few times I have worn a suit, my cowboy boots went with me. My God, so That's how it works.
If you're gonna go out, you go out in your boots. Damn it.
Oh yeah. Wear them daily.
I need a picture of. Where the hell did he go? Mr. Pink. There we go. Quentin Tarantino was originally going to play Mr. Pink, although he made a point of letting all the other actors audition for the part. When Steve Buscemi came in to read for it, Tarantino told him that he really wanted the part for himself, and the only way that Buscemi would possibly wrestle it from him was to do a killer audition, which Buscemi duly complied. I mean, clearly, because he...
Oh, yeah. Steve Buscemi is the heart of this movie. He's the realist. Not only is he the heart, he's the one that makes the most fucking sense. I mean, he says it, 15 times in this movie. He's, we be fucking professional. You find yourself. I mean, even Tim Roth, said, "Oh, I agree with him now." At the beginning of the movie, when he's talking about the tipping scene, like he changes his mind because Mr. Pink.
He convinced me. Give me my $1 back.
Yeah, he convinced me.
I thought maybe he was just being a dickhead. I feel like that might have been
right.
Oh god, great! I need this for that. Madonna, who is the main topic of the opening conversation, as we've said, really liked the film, but refuted Quentin Tarantino's interpretation of her song "Like a Virgin." She gave him a copy of her quote erotica album, signed to Quentin. It's not about dick; it's about love. Madonna.
Oh, okay. If it's about love, then why is it fucking touched? Says it touched for the very first. Okay, come on. We all know what kind of, yeah, okay. Yeah.
God.
I think Tarantino's more right than Madonna is. Fucking good shit.
He might. It's all up for interpretation. Goddamn. Mr. Blonde's Cadillac Coupe de Ville belonged to Michael Madsen because the budget wasn't big enough to rent a car for the character. That sucks. This same car is also used in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Rick Dalton. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I wondered that. I mean, it's been for what? It's been a while since I rewatched Once Upon a Time, but I like. Did they just get another one, or is this like like Ash's car in Evil Dead, the '88 Delta? Is it the same one? I always wondered that. I didn't know. That's cool.
God damn it! See, again, I wish I had that damn picture of Steve Buscemi where he's like leaned over the car. I might have it, and I misnamed it, but fucking whatever. I'll use this one. Where the hell to go? The budget wouldn't allow for police assistance for traffic control. So in the scene where Steve Buscemi has to force a woman out of her car and drives off, he could only do so when the traffic lights were green. Green light.
Can you imagine you're going down the street, going into the store, buy batteries or whatever you're going to buy, and you see that shit going on? You're like, who would be the guy to be like, "Oh, stop, bad guy," and he tries to do the Johnny, badass and step in the middle of it. Well, somebody tried to do
this woman did.
Right.
I mean, she tried. I mean, she got tagged.
That goes back to like that era of filmmaking. Like I was recently. I mean, after we were on here last time, and I brought up Frankenhooker talking about the Final Destination, I went back and rewatched it, and like Frank Henenlotter, to get all of the shots of New York, he didn't get no apartment. He couldn't afford it. He rented a van, opened the side door, and drove around the streets of New York filming stuff. You did that back in the day because it works,
It's like the what's it called? The like the Blitzkrieg, or no, guerrilla filmmaking. Like we just
guerrilla.
You don't have permission. Yeah, they did it for like T2, and they did it for they kind of did it for 28 Days Later, where it's like you have about 10 minutes where we shut down all this damn traffic, and you got to get this shit done, and you got to do it real quick and get the hell out.
I can remember as a kid, we'd go up to the Fort Worth Stockyards, and that's where they would film the TV show Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris. We would go up there and watch them actually film like CDs, barbecue joint, everything else, and we would see Chuck Norris and Trevette and all of those people like just live in person. It was so cool to actually watch them make the show because they literally had to shut down the Fort Worth Stockyards. It was pretty cool.
Jesus. Yeah, let me use this one because that's perfect. According to an interview on the DVD, Michael Madsen says that Kirk Baltz asked to ride in the trunk of the car to experience what it was really like. Madsen agreed, but decided as he went along that it was time for his own character development. So he drove down a long alley with potholes and then to a Taco Bell drive-thru before taking Baltz back to the parking lot and letting him out. Hey man, you asked and you played yourself on that
Hey,
one.
you want to, well, what do they call that? That kind of, if you want to be a method acting, by God, you're going to learn. You know what I mean? You're going to figure it out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, hit a few bumps, get you a Taco Supreme, and do what you need to do.
Get your country up and go back to the.
Oh yeah.
You want a Tarantino? In an interview on BBC in 2009, Quentin Tarantino said he's proud of the movie and is often top 10 heist movies, even though you never actually see the heist. Like I said, that's crazy that you don't actually see it, but you don't need to. Like I said,
the heist doesn't matter. The diamonds have been got. This is the chaos in the aftermath. This is why, well, like I said earlier, Pulp Fiction is the polished version of this. This is the indie cut. This is the rough version, and that's part of its charm is that it is. I love
it. Yeah, I was gonna say I know we mentioned this, but where's that picture? There we go. As we said, Mr. Blonde, played by Michael Madsen's real name in the movie is Vic Vega, the same surname as Vince Vega, played by John Travolta in Pulp Fiction in '94. Tarantino revealed that Vic and Vince are brothers, obviously. He also intended to do a prequel of both films called Double V Vega, which would star the Vega brothers, but Madsen and Travolta eventually got too old to reprise their roles, and Tarantino has since abandoned that. Like, that sucks. That'd be kind of interesting.
Well, it's a shame now that, they're both way too old to do it and way out of shape. That time is gone. I would have been down for a Vega prequel. I could have been down with that.
Ooh, I know what I forgot. I am going to go find that damn picture I had. Well, because it's the next thing. There it is. I knew I was missing something. I'm actually going to have it here. In looking, well, here I'll read the thing first. For the European release, the distributor used one-sheet posters for each of the main characters, which is badass. I'd love to have all of them. This was quite a novel strategy at the time, which has now become widespread. Now that would be sweet to have one of each guy. The site that Frank got me into has some. I'm gonna fall in a
original print movie posters are so expensive. To buy in original one sheet of these theater posters and stuff, they go for so much money. It is ridiculous. I'd love to have one.
So in looking for some pictures, I came across. I always get like artwork and other things that people have done, and I came across this really cool picture. Someone made it. Said I just copied and pasted it because I want to give this person credit. It was a Reservoir Dogs minimal movie poster made by somebody named Chung Kong Art. I'm not going to try and spell that, but Chung Kong Art. And this little poster right here, I love how simple it is.
I like that.
All the guns with all the colors of the guys, and of course, I love the blood.
Orange is bleeding. Yeah, that works.
And then you got, I think that's Joe's line. You don't need proof when you have instinct. Yeah. That's a cool. I love that poster. I didn't want to steal your art. I'm just saying I give you credit because I was like, that is really badass, and that's worth shouting out.
If they made this movie today, it would just be a floating head of everybody in the cast. Like, all the creativity is gone. Like, back in the day, the 80s, 90s, going on back, we had creative movie posters. The actual artist putting stuff together. Now it's just, we've got Chris Pratt in this movie. Put the Jurassic Park logo with a big Chris Pratt in the middle of it so everybody knows he's here. You know what I mean? That's That's
Yeah.
all it is anymore. It's oh, here's the new Avengers poster, but the superheroes won't be wearing their masks, so you can see Robert Downey Jr. in the Iron Man suit, Captain America. It's all about the face on the poster. It's not about the art anymore. I miss that.
Yeah. I'm going to use this one because also, again, I said it before, another iconic shot of this movie. That's a picture of the warehouse. Mr. Orange's apartment was the upstairs to the warehouse where most of the movie takes place. The filmmakers redecorated it to look like an apartment in order to save money on finding a real apartment, which that's kind of hilarious in a way.
Now, one thing I noticed in his apartment, and they never said if he had kids or not, so I imagine this was him. Did you notice all the Marvel superhero stuff within that apartment?
He does mention Fantastic Four to the guy, and there's like a Fantastic Four Silver Surfer thing in his apartment, and there's like comic books everywhere.
There's a Silver Surfer poster. Then there's a Punisher, Iron Man, and Thing action figures on the table, like they've been played with or something.
Where's that? Hold on. Where's that fucking picture of Joe? Because he even says it to the dude. He's like, "You know the Fantastic Four, right?" He's like, "Yeah, Flame On. That's got that invisible bitch." He's like, "Nah, man, the Thing. He looks like the fucking Thing." I'm like,
yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Right, I like that they gave Mr. Orange the backstory of he's a comic book nerd. I always thought that was cool. It's like the small little details in there that it doesn't mean anything to the movie. If you don't see it, it's not going to ruin your viewing experience. But it's fun to see that stuff. I like that.
Yeah, it gets it gives you the charm of this movie, like I said.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh wow. Let's get a different shot of Tarantino in here, and the only shot I have of Mr. Blue because he's that's about as much as he's in the movie, which really sucks.
Right.
Let's talk about everybody's favorite person in Hollywood. Not Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino had to fight Miramax boss Harvey Weinstein to keep the torture scene in the film, as Weinstein felt that it would have a serious negative effect on audiences. Tarantino stood his ground, and Weinstein ultimately relented. I mean, that's his style. His fucking style.
Harvey Weinstein was worried about what people, especially women, might think.
We didn't say women. You just said on the audience.
But women, people. Of course, I'm assuming genders here, so whatever. But God forbid somebody gets offended. Well, then we all know Harvey Weinstein's a stand-up guy. I mean, hell, just go back and listen to Rob Zombie. Listen to Rob Zombie talking about how he interacted with the Weinsteins while he was making the Halloween films. They were literally having daily screaming matches over the phone as he was making those films, and that's why he only did the two. Like, very few people had a good experience with these people. I hope that guy rots forever. I mean, I know there's this big uptake of whatever. Fuck off, Harvey Weinstein. You're a devil and you deserve it. So,
you're a piece of shit. I do love that. Like, one of the last times I watched a thing about Kevin Smith. He's like, the last time he interacted with Harvey before. Well, there was two I saw where the last time he saw Harvey, he said like he was premiering one of his movies, Kevin Smith's movies, and he was like behind the curtain, like Harvey Weinstein was back there just like fucking yelling at somebody, berating, and he's like, he opens the curtain and he tells him, "Dude, shut the fuck up. We're trying to watch a movie in here." I was like, damn. Yelled right in his face, and he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Oh," and then next week he went to fucking jail. Like, I'm like, oh. That's funny.
Yeah, Harvey.
So he just knows like he's not a fucking. He's not a good guy.
Well, and let's not act like Harvey Weinstein's the only pervert that's still going in Hollywood. He's just the biggest one. So all of the other perverts just sold him out just so they didn't get looked at. That's really what went down. But whatever.
Well, that's the thing is the Kevin Smith was talking about with this whole big to do about Dogma now, and he was talking about. Because he had the rights to.
I can't wait to go see Dogma. I cannot wait.
I know. So speaking of that, it's finally coming back because this is the point. He had the
coming
rights
back 1st of June.
Yeah. Weinstein kind of had control of that movie. That's why it's like you can't find it. You can't. It's not distributed. I don't know who Frank knows, somebody that knows somebody that's got some concrete shoes on, that somehow he got a fucking copy of that DVD. I don't know how Frank did it, but he's got a copy of the movie.
I think Frank needs to, grease some palms and give us a little screening. He's got a Discord. We can stream this. Whatever. I'm just saying.
I'm one of the lucky few he's let me actually have the movie, and I give it back to him because I was like, I'm not gonna steal. I understand it's important, so I'm not gonna steal it from him, man. I just wanted to see it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But Kevin was talking about how he was kind of like, I want to do more with this movie, like, and he's like, I can't because Harvey he bought the movie and has the rights to it. And he said, like, he called him up one day and he was like, hey Kevin, like, how would you feel about like another, like a show or like a sequel to Dogma? And he was like, oh hell yeah, like, yeah, I'll be down for that. He was like, all right, great, thanks. And he hung up on him and he's like, that's fucking weird. And he's like, 2 days later, he's like, I swear to you, 2 fucking days later, he's on TV going to prison. I'm like, he was like, you know what he was doing? He's like, he was calling you to see if you were one of the fucking like one of the people against him. And I was like, oh, he's like, because if you would have said no or not answered, he probably would have suspected you. I'm like, that's fucked up. He's like,
I know
like,
at one point,
he's like, I think in the terms of like heinous things he's done, that's probably not the worst thing, but like, he was just kind of feeling him out, like, oh yeah, I'd love to do a Dogma too. Thanks.
Don't quote me on this, but I've heard the story a number of times, and I tend to believe it. Apparently, Weinstein offered the film to Kevin Smith for like $10 million or some crazy number, and Kevin Smith like, I don't have $10 million or whatever. Like, I think I heard Kevin Smith say this years ago or whatever. But yeah, we're getting it back. It's coming to theaters.
Yeah.
I think it's June 5th. This is what I saw in the AMC app. It's if you have AMC Plus, you can't use one of your 4 free movies a week. It's a Fathom event thing. So you have to pay to go see it, but I'm going to go pay to go see it because, I mean, fuck, who knows when it's going to be released again. I'm not going to miss that.
And I'm goddamn snatching me a fucking copy because I'm not letting that get away from me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The second it hits physical media, that thing's going to fly off the shelf. Like, Steelbook, I don't care what I got to buy. I'll be buying them for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'll do where's it at? Because we got special effects. Where's the damn? There it is. I'll do 2 here. One's pretty quick. Apparently this was filmed in 35 days, that's insane. You did this in just over a month.
Wow.
Robert Kurtzman did the special effect makeup for free on the condition that Quentin Tarantino wrote a script for From Dusk Till Dawn based on a story by Kurtzman. So it all worked out, didn't it?
And we're all glad that he did because that movie fucking rocks.
I was gonna say, there you go. Talk about a movie that which we have reviewed, by the way. I was like talking about special effects. Go watch that.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a movie.
Love From Dusk. My favorite vampires of all time are From Dusk Till Dawn.
I mean, yeah, when one of your vampires,
clay breasts, love them.
When one of them's, Chief Marin and fucking Machete.
Speaking of Mr. Brown, Casey is Ross here. There we go.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Well, Mr. Brown, where the hell did he go? What did Tarantino? Wait, I have a pic. Hold on, I do have that picture. I'm meaning to fucking use it. Where is it? Oh, god damn it! It's in here somewhere. I definitely put these in order. Yeah, when they're all talking about complaining about names, like he's complaining about Mr. Pink. He's like, I'm sorry, but Mr. Brown sounds a little too much like Mr. Shit. Hey, at least you're not Mr. Pink. I sound like Mr. Pussy. Why can't I be Mr. Purple? Because Mr. Purple's on another job. Again, fucking dialogue in this movie. I swear to God. Do I even want to give him the time of day? What'd he say? Tex is like a vampire. He sucks. Wow, did you write that one yourself? Yeah, you thought about that all by yourself.
If I'm a vampire, that just means I am immortal, bitch. So fuck you.
Oh, that's true. Oh, really? Actually, I wonder if that's true. There's the only movie picture I have in Pulp Fiction, so I guess I'll use it. I don't know if this is true or not. One of the radio ads heard in the background is for Jack Rabbit Slims, the fictitious 1950s themed restaurant, and quote, home with a $5 milkshake that was featured in Pulp Fiction.
$5 milkshake, man. Nowadays, dude, a $5 Dairy, it costs $5 for a milkshake at Dairy Queen nowadays for $5 fucking.
I know, and that was 94. I mean, you can imagine now. Yeah, shit.
Like, my God, how far have we fallen when, back in the day, a $5 shake was fancy. Now it's, fast food prices. It's, and that's not even like the large cup. That's like the medium size. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, seriously, inflation's crazy. Yeah, we know that. We know that these are getting long, and I don't really care to read. Isn't that what he said? Tim Roth, he's like, I don't fucking read. He's got the script in his hands. Like, I'll read this shit. Tarantino wrote the first draft in 3.5 weeks. That's not bad.
Yeah, it was originally going to be a book, then a stage play, and then became the film.
Oh shit, you're right. Actually, this movie has no orchestral score. All the music you hear are the recorded tracks. That's true. Actually, yeah.
I like how they use the radio in this movie too. It's almost like a plot device, like a background character in the film, like score wise. Like he used them. Quentin Tarantino's always used music well. It's one of the things of a Tarantino movie, but it's a character in this film. So
let's get one to Mr. White. This one's kind of interesting. In Mr. White's flashback, Joe asks him about a girl named Alabama. This is a reference to Patricia Arquette's character from True Romance in '93. Quentin Tarantino stated that he originally intended for this character to meet up with Mr. White and become partners in crime. When True Romance was released, the ending was changed and the background story became inconsistent. I mean, continuity. Alabama never went on to meet up with Mr. White, so I guess there is some, continuity to some of this stuff. That's nice.
Well, it's the Tarantino verse or whatever you want to call it. It's that Tarantino's like he's one of those directors like a James Gunn or a Zack Snyder or a Rob Zombie that he likes to use his actors, because he knows how they work or whatever. So they play, whether it's Mr. White or Mr. Wolf, whatever. You get multiple cracks at the bat within his world, so it worked.
Yeah, very true. Well, let's get this because that's actually kind of funny. What could have been? Quentin Tarantino was considering using Ballroom Blitz by The Sweet as the alternative song for the ear scene, but went with Steeler Wheel stuck in the Middle with You.
Oh, those are both good songs. I can
imagine.
Ballroom Blitz has been in 1,000 different movies, but the one that stands out to me the most would be the first Suicide Squad movie in 2016. That was like one of the bigger songs that was used in that film. But Stuck in the Middle with You, with that little dance that Madsen does, it's perfect. It's it works because it's not like a violent or something evil. It's taking something nice and corrupting and it makes it that much better. Yeah, it makes it better.
I love when stuff like that happens. Like I have a whole playlist of music that I use for getting ready for the Haunted Cave, and it's stuff from like
I have the same thing.
But it's funny when it's like a movie, like a song where you're like, wait, where was that? What movie is that from? And like, what was going on when that happened? I'm like, right. You never think of Brick House by the Commodores. I'm like, yeah, but if you watch House of a Thousand Corpses, that's a little bit fucking different in that context, isn't it?
I love Rob Zombie's version of Brick House. I've got so many horror movie soundtracks. Like I've got now I don't use it for a hunt, but I've got my October playlist saved that I play in October every year. And it's different themes from horror films or songs using horror film. So many. The Merkins have like almost every one of their songs within that fucking playlist stuff.
Oh yeah, I do have a lot of the Merkins on there too because I can't.
I love the Merkins. Yeah, they're great.
That's one for Ohio. At least we have them. I'm gonna fucking put this background is what we have going on here, and I really like this poster here. Because we're kind of covering it up here, but the line, which is at the bottom of this poster that says, "Let's go to work," is often attributed to this film, but in fact comes from The Professionals from 1966, which is one of Quentin Tarantino's favorite movies, which, again, I think we can tell, we can see it in this movie, all the influence that had.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Tarantino, he was, prior to being famous, he was a video store clerk. I mean, he grew, he loves the medium of film, which is why his word is so trusted and listened to. Because I mean, yeah, he's a weird foot pervert, but you know what? The dude loves fucking movies. So it is what it is.
Speaking of, we were talking about Kevin Smith, talking about like Clerks and shit. Quentin Tarantino originally planned to make this film in black and white for just 16 grand, which, I mean, yeah, that's why Kevin Smith made Clerks in black and white, because it was cheaper. Now, can you imagine this movie in black and white? That would have been kind of wild, actually. I would have loved
Put it in black and white with like an orchestral film noir thing to it. That could work. Like, that may be even better. I would pay to see that in the theater if they did a film noir version of this with the orchestral soundtrack, black and white, the theme. Oh, that'd be really cool.
Where the hell was it? Oh yeah, we see the there's the bottles. How the hell did I just see that? Oh, I did notice this, and I wish I had a picture of him doing it, but I'll go back to Mr. Blonde, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Blonde. Where'd you go? Motherfucker, there's so many pictures of him. And yet I can't find one. It's so damn small. There we go. I'll use that one. I considered that for the background too. Him just like leaning off on the fucking right of the screen, and we're over here on the left. That would make kind of funny.
Just take that image and put Patrick Bateman next to it. Like, make the movie now. I'm down. I'm there. Like, you know, American Psycho 3. You know, whatever. Please.
Right. The warehouse where the majority of the movie takes place was actually once a mortuary. That's crazy. And it's full of caskets. Right, a lot of dead bodies in there. You got the facilities to take care of it. I did notice this in the background, which I never actually noticed in other watchings. Mr. Blonde doesn't sit down on a crate. It's actually an old hearse that he's sitting on. I noticed that when he got down off the off the car. Actually, I might be able to. Maybe I can find it in this like wide shot. You can kind of see it behind Eddie there. You see it covered up. You can see the tail.
Bit,
yeah. I noticed that there was like a covered up hearse there, and I was kind of wondering. I'm like, is that like see? That worked out, and then when you don't know that, you're like, is that a hint? Is that something, is that something part of the movie? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hang on, wait. Casey is calling me out for not dressing up. Sorry, I didn't wear my best wrestling t-shirt and basketball shorts to film a YouTube video, Casey. I'll make sure to go get me a John Cena t-shirt because that's so much better. That's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, see, and then you're gonna. My mom's gonna come pin you down and put.
I'm gonna let Mama handle Casey. She's gonna get that belt out and beat his ass. I'm gonna let her handle my light work. So it's all good.
Oh yeah, Stuart McQuaid's in here. What's up, my dude?
What's up, Stuart?
Yeah, they should release the black and white special edition on the Blu-ray. That's what I'm saying. If that was a special, like another thing on the DVD or something to re-release it, that would be fun.
Yeah, go black and white. Just go full film noir with it. The soundtrack, like a 1940s film noir, kind of thing. It would fit this part
over that bitch,
yeah. Grainy. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Let's do this one. I have to do this because I saw the name drew me in. Wes Craven famously walked out of a screening of Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs in '92, and Tarantino famously said, "I can't believe the guy who directed Last House on the Left walked out of Reservoir Dogs." Craven responded, Last House was about the evils and horrors of violence. It did not mean to glorify it, as Reservoir Dogs does. I'm like, splitting some hair.
Well, it's not like Wes Craven made a movie about a guy that does horrible things to children years before this or anything. That didn't happen either.
We burned a pedophile from Ohio. Yeah, Wes Craven. I think. Come on, Freddy Krueger's not a pinnacle of fucking like morality. Lord.
I know in the movie he was a child murderer, but we all know what he really was. He was, just saying.
For fuck's sake. Whatever. All right, I think I'm done trying to pull shit out of my ass. So, trivia. Oh fuck, whatever. I don't know how these shows are. So I mean, again, we've probably beaten it to death, but overall, I mean, yeah, I guess, would you recommend this movie to somebody?
Oh, 100%. This movie rocks. It's a fun watch just for the dialogue scenes alone. It's one of those movies. Every time you watch it, you pick up something a little bit different. This in the background or that line or whatever. It's smart dialogue. It's like I said. It's like it's refreshing to hear these guys talk because it's believable. These kind of guys would talk this way, and I like when movies do that. So yeah, if you haven't seen this one, go out of your way to find it. It's awesome. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely worth it. And I guess with Tarantino movies, I'm like, you don't have to see them in order. I think I actually saw Pulp Fiction before I ever saw this, but I was like, you don't have to. Just even if you just watch.
No, you
it,
don't have
you
to. But I would watch this before Pulp Fiction because it's like we said earlier. This is the concept that proves the theory. But
yeah. At least it's better than what Casey's watching. Apparently, he watched Movie of the Year, which was Captain America: Brave New World. And I know how to kick your ass out just for saying that.
Well, this also comes from the guy that he thought The Flash was good. So, whatever.
Casey liked putting babies in microwaves. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Take the guy that's a terrible human being that puts children in microwaves. That's okay.
Oh, Stewart said they did it for the last 2 Mad Max films. Well, that's kind of cool. Shit. Like
Mad Max Furiosa. That was the last one.
Furiosa.
What was the one before that actually had Mad Max? Because Mad Max was in Furiosa. I can't remember. Was it Fury? No.
Fury Road?
Fury Road? I think that was it, right?
Fury Road was before that one.
I can't remember. I'll be honest with you. If there's no Mel Gibson, it's not Mad Max for me. I'm kind of.
That's what I was saying. I was like Thunderdome?
Right.
Road Warrior? And I'm like, hey, that's it for me is Road Warrior. I don't know.
Now, if they want to make an old man Mad Max like Logan Wolverine style with Mel Gibson, dude, you imagine that movie? That'd be freaking sweet.
Maybe, maybe that one would get, because I'm always against that kind of thing. I'm like, that one might actually get a pass from me.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
40-some years later, or 40 years later, with a grizzled old Mad Max, I'm like, you know what? If it's Mel Gibson, I would take it. Get him back.
The only way it should happen is if it is Mel Gibson. If it ain't Mel Gibson, then I'm not going to see it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Get him another dog by his side, the leather jacket, the shotgun. Like, come on, let's get it. All right. I know I'm dicking around with that. No, I recommend this movie too. Any of these Tarantino films. I believe this movie was free on Amazon Prime, but I think it said it was leaving in like 4 days. So I mean,
there you go.
If you can, but it's on some other stuff as of the time of this recording, I should say. That's what the YouTubers say now, right? You can't come at me if I say, "Hey, it's on this," and it's not there. Yeah. But again, go find the movies in some capacity. Go get it on physical. It's worth it. This movie.
That's how I watch it. I've got the old DVD that had the extras. Is how I watched it. But,
actually,
I had it from years ago.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, he's gonna be pulling out prop songs over here. Yeah. He's gonna flex on me.
A little bit. 1 second. It's somewhere in here. Dish. I knocked everything over. I was fairly certain. Look, motherfucker, I know it's in here somewhere. Yeah. Weirdly, I knew, like in this desk, for some fucking reason in the drawer, I just had my copy of Pulp Fiction. Like, that's like I got it.
There you go.
Right here. But now I've knocked every goddamn thing over next to me. But you don't see that. That's the magic of the the camera angle. Anyway,
within the box, everything's nice and neat. The floor looks like hell. You don't even want to know right now.
Well, you don't actually want to know what's right behind me. It's really bad. I might need to Casey the time.
I feel you.
All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all we've got on that. Double recommendation from both of us. So I guess to wrap this up, Mr. Maroon, if you're not outrunning cops, what have you got going on?
Well, this weekend, in order to hide from the law, I will be in theaters. There's a new horror film. I believe it's being put up by A24, so I'm kind of leery, but it's called Bring Her Back. I don't know much about it. I've seen the poster and I saw a new horror film being released in theaters, so I'm going to go check it out. And I'm going to recommend, this is not new, well, kind of new, but I am rewatching Landman for the third time since it came out. It's the show with Billy Bob Thornton. It's on Paramount Plus. Such one of the best shows I've ever seen. I absolutely adore it. I signed up for Paramount Plus just to watch Landman. Kicks all kinds of ass. So go check them out.
Okay, now that I fixed that, trust me, it's in there somewhere.
I like you're flustered just dealing with the crud.
I got so much multitasking with being one of the hand on the controls. Hey, we got Ben Edwards in here. He says, "Howdy."
What's up, Edwards?
Howdy to you, sir. Actually, that segues into me. Actually, I'm here Tuesdays, Thursdays, doing this show, doing God knows what, because Frank puts it in my hands, and I have about 24 hours to make a decision and put this together.
Yeah, Frank's still moving, and all that shit. So hopefully he gets that wrapped up.
Yeah,
pretty soon so we can get back to full cruise.
Yeah, because otherwise you guys are kind of in my hands, which whatever that means. But right. My segue was, speaking of Howdy, I mean, I've actually been replaying this game, Her, which fucking keeps showing you the damn price.
Red Dead Redemption. There you go.
Red Dead Redemption 2, man. If you want a recommendation for a game,
is that going to be the next series that gets adapted from video games?
I've heard a lot of things about the possibility of doing that. Like,
it's a big franchise. I know a lot of people play it.
Yeah, I've heard some fan castings, and I think he even maybe said hell yeah he'd be down. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Negan, said he wanted to play the main bad guy. He wanted to play Dutch, the leader of the gang. I was like, I could see that, and that would be fucking insane. Or maybe it was Arthur. I don't fucking remember. But if you put Jeffrey Dean Morgan there, I'm happy.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of Walking Dead, they wanted someone said Norman Reedus would make a good John Marston, and I definitely agree with that. You got the same ratty hair for it. You just put the big scar on his fucking cheek, give him the hat. Oh hell yeah. You could definitely do it.
If you do want to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan, go download a AMC Plus and watch Walking Dead Dead City Season 2 with Negan and Maggie is going right now. It's pretty good. I haven't watched the latest episode, but the first one for the second season was pretty badass. So go check that out too.
I'm so far behind. Oh yeah, so I don't let me get out the comments here. I'm getting sick of looking at Casey's name. I don't really know what we're doing on sorry. I don't know what we're doing on Tuesday, but we'll figure it out, I guess.
Now that The Last of Us is over, we'll have that day back opened up too.
I know, like now I don't know what to do anymore. We thought about Lilo and Stitch, but I've heard some things about that I'm not too keen on. I think I'll just stick with the original cartoon.
You mean a Disney remake's not very good? Say it ain't so. It's not like they just bombed with Snow White or anything, and a Black Little Mermaid that didn't happen either. Disney wouldn't screw it up, right?
I know this is better than those, but it's like it's still not good because you just ruined the whole point, the whole message of the original movie. I'm like, I don't know, I can't forgive you guys for that. But
I've never even seen the first Lilo and Stitch, so I have no urge to go see this new one. So I'm good.
It was one of my favorites when I was a kid. I loved the TV show that they spun off of that, but I don't want to ruin it for me. If it's
that's cool.
It had a cool idea. Like I said, there were 2 movies, actually 3, I think. But then it segued. The end of the movie is what set up the TV show, which was kind of cool. They, there's a little experiment of Stitch, but what happens is he's 626, so that means there's 625 others before him. They all just get released onto the island. And that's the setup for the show, is like now they got to go find all these experiments and then find their purpose, like to not be like, evil experiments. Now it's like we got to find something for them to do. Like there's one that's he's like bioluminescent, so they put him in the lighthouse. So now he works as like the lighthouse thing,
Oh, wow.
They find purposes for each of the aliens, which was kind of sweet. That was the premise of the show, and it was really awesome. Yeah. But
whatever we do Tuesday, just y'all show up either ways. Y'all know we're going to be here, so just come hang out. Who gives a shit? Whatever.
All right. So, start the music, dipshit. I meant to do that. Anyway, yeah. So, like he said, we'll be back here Tuesday. You better be here, or else, or be square, or you're Casey. I don't know. So we will see you guys on Tuesday doing God knows what. So until then, you guys have a good one. Goodbye.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.